Welcome in. HOSS race night. We've got the Fast 8 Tier 2 about to get underway. Same ref got the pole position. Lancaster so pouring on the mic. Loose there, Scott Kinder. One gets a good jump off the start, coming up in here in one uphill, difficult corner at the best of time. Down the hill here, turn 2, down the bottom. Red Bull Ring tonight, fast track, way to Supras, and laps. Right there. And Werriford. Light gap there's down under. Secondary front. And they're going down the inside. He's thinking of trying to put a move on Tim Horn here. And Wilfred pushing back. Oh, Tim Hall. Spins around, so that puts him down the back. Paul Lancaster now up into dropping back. Somebody's having to hit me. Originally, lap 1. Make corner, get right this. Track limit. That's 1 lap down. Up at 1.2 second lead there for Kinder, second, Bateman. In Cunningham, third. He finds back down at Tim Hall. Rounding out the grid. Fast track, that's back down into 2. Lots of elevation. Looks absolute. That gap at the front, hovering around that minute and a half. Just out to 2 seconds there as they go through turn 3 into turn. Really close together, like Ben Cunningham up onto the back of Paul Lancaster. They're 3 seconds back, so the top 3 just sort of separating themselves from the bottom 3 now. Doesn't take long for the laps to wind down here as well. Gap at the front, getting slightly bigger again. Kinder. Yep, getting seconds. Same way. Putting in at the moment. Get up to be right. Wonder if you take too much of that inside curve as well, with a bit of a sausage curve there. A gap, front 3 now, up to almost 5 seconds. 8 minutes. Books at the moment, and about halfway around. Top 3 now. To open up a gap that's on a big hand down the back. Bateman got Kinder at the front. Sam's gap. It's just been hovering around at 1.7 seconds. Needs to be faster through that back end. One straight here. Absolutely love turn. All uphill. Right-hander. Go too wide, you get yourself in a whole lot of trouble. A little bit too much curb there, Sam. And they got all get back to Michael Pateman and Zoe now too. So this field's spreading out. And then you've over a lot of act gaps like this, but so the gap at the front now out over Dickens, Sam, over Scott Kinder, Michael Pateman's third. The gap though, Paul Lancaster is eating away back, so he's slowly catching Michael Pateman at the Tim Horn and Ben Coonahan, bringing up the rear of the Tier 2 field. 30 to crack temperature, that explains a little bit. It's hot on the rib. Half distance now. .137, fairly decent front two now. Red a field horse race. He's managed to get back to Dickens. Pateman's. He's in his mirror at the moment. A little bit of psychological to do. Michael Pateman's just falling off the pace a little. That gap got Kinder now out to Dan Werford out the front though. Absolutely on it. Still got Sam in his sights. Still going to be at Sam's mirrors. So that's where Sam wants him to be. Get back to Michael Pateman now at just 8 seconds. So something's happened to Michael. Dropped right off the pace. Paul Lancaster now about to get it under 2-second gap. Get himself back on the podium. We've got Tim Horn through the 1 second there behind Paul Lancaster in the better car. There's those 3 cars there. They're the closest 3 on the track at the moment. A little bit of work to do for Tim Horn. Catch up with both of them. But really doable. Just over half race distance. 4 laps to go. Get down here. Get up to 220. It's on the brakes. Down the... It's like Paul Lancaster's gone wide into the gravel. Or fairly aggressive rejoin. Side by side, Tim Horn is he's going to be on the outside here for the right-hander. Bottom of the hill and kept in front of him, but now in the mirror is putting a little bit of pressure on. Closest 2 cars on the track at the moment. Got Sam Werford now. He's almost 3 seconds in front of Scott Kinder and 8 seconds back to Michael Pateman. Oh, a little mistake there from Paul Lancaster. Tim Horn gone by. He's going to have to put in that work. That gap to Michael Pateman now. 2.8 seconds. So a little bit of a late race fight back from him. Sam Weirford's race to lose at this point. Just got to keep putting in the laps. Out the front, making easy work of it. Under there, find him just in the shot. 2.7 second gap there. 3 laps to go. 6 races tonight. 2 tiers. Last 8. Members night here down at HOSS. Paul's in the sim, so filling in for him is Corey. They gap Michael Pateman now 9.7 seconds back. Scott Kinder. Tim Horn on an absolute, gonna get that down to 2 seconds probably this lap. The gap between him and Pateman. Say that it moves further apart. Maybe Michael Pateman is just a little bit off the pace. Under 2 seconds. Fastest lap of the race for Sam. And it's just eclipsed straight away. Scott Kinder. Those tyres are nice and warm. That's a 38.5. So that was Sam put in the fastest lap was in the 1:37 lap. So 2 tenths. Scott Kinder goes a little bit faster. He's got that gap under 2 seconds then. That gap behind him back to Pateman now out to 12 seconds. Running away. Still the middle pack here between Pateman, Tim Horn, Paul Lancaster. The closest cars on the track. Paul Lancaster go a little bit wide. Best laps. 1:36.5, so half a second. Fastest. The cars. Not quite enough. Under half a second there now. The gap. So we're going to finish the race fairly close. As we see Sam, maybe a little bit of mirror pressure there from Scott. And he's going to go up the inside. If he's going to hold that, he's going to have the inside line for turn 1. But you want to be wide. Want as much turn into this first corner as you can. It's still braking. Like Scott's gone on the brakes a little bit later. And he's got the job done. No, he's over driven it. And that's into the wall. That is unfortunate. Still got a fairly big gap back to Michael Pateman. So no rush. Get back up. Salvage it. Still going to be P2. You can't complain about that. But all that pressure, that's off Sam Weirford now. The 7 second gap. But now Michael Pateman, he's got a sniff. 3.7 seconds back from Scott Kinder now, so it's got to settle it all back in. This time by will be the white flag as well. Tim Horn here, around about a second back from Michael Pateman. But we're going to get a couple of laps of battling. So that comes to a head pretty quickly. Sam's going to run away. It's got Tim Horn. He's under a second there now, up behind Michael Pateman as well. So this could be something to watch before the end of the race. We might get some passing going on. that'll be the white flag out this time by Sam Werford out the front. He's got an 8-second lead over Scott Kinder now. That will be the white flag out, so this will be the final lap. Push, push, push. And at least got Tim Horn in his mirrors here for the last lap. Yeah, there's the view back from Michael Pateman's car. Tim Horn, so that's 1 second gap there, and you can see Paul Lancaster in the back of that shot as well. He's a further 5 seconds back from Tim Horn. Braking it, yeah, turn 2, back down the hill. Sam Werford though, 6.5 second gap at the moment to Scott Kinder, who has managed to take about a second and a half back as we see Tim Horn passing Michael Pateman here for third. So that's how you get it done on the last lap. Looks like, oh, a little bit of a fight back from Michael Pateman. He's on the grass. So final corner for Sam Werford. Be a victory for Tier 2 for our first race tonight. Kinder seconds back. Second. Yeah. So that's Tim Horn across the line. Michael Pateman. That'll be Paul Lancaster, and behind him, last car across the line will be Ben Coonahan. Well, that's the first race in the books. Straight into a reverse grid race for our second race tonight. So Tier 2 boys. Ben Coonahan finds himself on pole position. How the start goes for these boys this time. Little great start from Tim Horn there on the inside. Paul Lancaster, sorry it was. Gonna have the inside here into turn 1. That's a bit of argy-bargy stuff. Too wide down the hill. Heavy braking zone down the hill into turn 2 here, and a tight right-hander. Michael Pateman trying to have a look down the inside here. You've got Tim Horn in behind Paul Lancaster. Scott Kinder can just sit back and watch basically at the moment. Maybe a little push there for Paul. He manages to gather it back up. Going to find himself fighting for second here with Scott Kinder. Well, this first lap jitters here. Tim Horn finds himself out the front. About a half a second gap. Paul Lancaster here. Late break there, Paul Lancaster. You can have a look here on Tim Horn. The nose up, big nose on these cars too. Just going to put the old wing mirror pressure on. He's going to go up the inside in here. Late break for Paul. He's not going to get a good run out of the corner, and a bit of a tap on the bum there. Oh, and that's Paul Lancaster into the fence. Scott Kinder, here's the winner out of that. Out into the front. So now he's got a wee bit of a gap there. A little bit of a buffer. That's what you need. this early on in the race. See Michael Pateman going wide in the background of that shot too, I think. So that puts Paul about 8.8 seconds back from the rest of the field. He's going to have to play catch up for 8 laps, and that's never good. Well, Scott Kinder finds himself at the front for this one. Tim Horn, this is Sam Werford, and he's got Ben Coonahan just up in front of him. Paul Lancaster 10 seconds back from the field at the moment. Might have white knuckles. Gap at the front's not growing. Tim Horn just staying on the back of Scott Kinder here. 2-horse race early on in this one. Ben Coonahan, Sam Werford, Michael Pateman though, they're fairly close together mid-pack. Keeping it all together. It's them all across the line there to complete their first 3 laps, so 7 laps to go in this one. Reverse grid race always throws in a little bit of a curveball, doesn't it? Issues there for Sam Werford. So he's going to have Paul Lancaster right up on the back of him now. So Scott Kinder now, he's got 0.6 second gap back in front of him, back to Tim Horn. Ben Coonahan further 3 seconds back in third. So from coming from the back of the field in the last race, starting off pole, so he finds himself still on the podium for this one, so you can't complain about that. That gap at the front though, it's not growing, just sort of hanging in there. Tim Horn got no worries behind him. These front two have got a bit of a gap, around 4 seconds back to Ben Coonahan. Then the last 4 cars in this one fairly close-ish together. Pass here. Tim Horn, he's down to 0.4 of the gap. He's going to have the inside here for this turn 2. Gets the better run out of the corner. Side by side back to right-hander. The battle of who's going to brake later here. 220 Ks and on the brakes. Tim Horn gets it done. Now Scott Kinder finds himself in second. He's still fighting back. Still fighting back. Going to have the inside. He's going down the inside. Is probably not going to have a good run out of this one if Scott keeps this line. Goes up the inside. No. Probably better to wait till turn 1. That gap back to Ben Coonahan dropped a little bit, 5.5 seconds now, but he's got Michael Pateman on him, past him, so now Michael Pateman finds himself up into third. So maybe something happened there. Ben Coonahan, he's on the back and manages to get around Michael Pateman. There's a bit of a battle there going on for fourth and third and second and first here. Good watching for this race 2 reverse grid race from Red Bull Ring and the Supras. Tier 2 of the HOSS members Fast 8 race night. Fastest lap of the race there, Sam Werford. So that's he's in P5 and putting in fastest laps. Got a little bit of clear air in front of him. Ben Coonahan further 5 seconds up the road at the moment. This battle at the front continues. About a half a second gap there. Tim Horn has the lead at the moment. Just going to have to hold on for half of this race distance. Putting the pressure back on. Scott's fairly quick over this part of the track. Matter of getting close enough so you can get a bit of run out of one. Corners, long straights, tight corners here. A lot of elevation, a little bit of a door slam both ways. Oh, and another one, and that's going to be some fence and around. But the gentlemanly thing, Tim Horn at fault there, lets him go. Probably the right thing to do. So yeah, that's good work from Tim Horn though, realising he's made the mistake, lets Scott go. So now it's a matter of just keeping in the front now for Scott Kinder. Ben Kernahan, he hasn't lost too much ground to Michael Bateman, so that's down to under a second. Yes, but the front two fairly close. The second pack of cars, third and fourth, fairly close as well. Paul Lancaster though, 13 seconds off the drift at the back, so he's out by himself. No tow down these long straights, so maybe losing a little bit of ground. That's 6 laps in the books, about halfway through now. Scott Kinder, he's opened that gap up just over a second now over Tim Horn. Michael Bateman a further 2.1 seconds back. That gap back to Ben Kernahan has now gone out over a second, so he's going to be looking at Sam Werford in the mirrors, thinking he's getting closer now, as these top 5 cars are getting a little bit closer on this track map. Maybe a little bit of action over the last 4 laps. We can only hope. Bit of a corner cut there. Across the line. See, and that's the fastest lap for Scott Kinder. Back in the 136s like he was in the last race as well. A little bit slower. But that late race pace is back. The tyres are nice and warm and up to temperature and just flat out for the rest of it. A little bit less fuel. On board here, Tim Horn, so he's in behind Scott Kinder here. That's 1.5 seconds here at Red Bull Ring. Get to appreciate the elevation a little bit better in this view as well. Straight out of the helmet. Look downhill here into what is a tight right, which is just about every corner apart from 2 of them around here. .5 second gap is hard to get back when the guy in front's putting in fastest laps as well. But this field is fairly evenly spread over the first 5. Paul will be looking forward to getting this mic off me at the end of this race. The Tier 1 jump in and have their go here for 2 races. About to cross the line for the 8th time. Another fastest lap from Scott Kinder, slightly improves by 100th of a second. He's coming up here, Sam Werford up into turn 1. Don't go too side. Down the hill, get himself up to 220 kilometers an hour before having to get on the brakes, downhill braking or uphill braking area, into this right hand hairpin. Another one with a sausage curb right in the apex. gap at the front out to 1.6 seconds for Scott Kinder, so a little bit of reprise for him after that mid-race fight with Tim Horn. Oh, forgot the brake. That was fairly close. These two locked in a battle again. Ben Cunahan. Bit of a Canterbury flavour to that car. Closest two cars on the track at the moment. Two laps to go. Oh, he's got him. There you go, Sam Werford takes that 4th position. Fastest lap of the race again for Scott Kinder, 1:36.304. There's opening up that gap from Tim Horn now, over 2 seconds. You can see on the track maps, slightly pulling away. Still fairly close. Top 5. Anyway, 16-second gap there to Paul Lancaster. That gap at the front though, 2.5 seconds, over 2.5 seconds now. Be 1 to go, and we've got Ben Cunahan around. Got Paul Lancaster approaching him quickly. 4 seconds almost, 4 seconds the gap there from Scott Kinder back to Tim Horn now. Will be a white flag out this time by for Scott Kinder as well, so 1 lap to hold on to it. The field spread right back out again now. The top 4 sort of staying sort of close. But that gap, Tim Horn now out to 4.2 seconds from Scott Kinder to Scott Kinder out the front. Really is his race to lose as the white flag is out. Last lap of this second race here tonight. The fairly dominant win for Scott Kinder, if he can get it done. You know, barring some commentators' curse, which are real folks. A little bit too much curb there for Tim Horn, so he's got Michael Pateman. Bit of a battle here for the last lap, for the last 2 podium spots. He'll have Sam Werford in the background, hoping that they're going to tangle. He'll get himself 2 spots here on the final lap. You see the wide line from Michael Pateman trying to get a bit of run out of that corner. Little bit to do here. Approaching the last quarter of this track. These two fighting hard. It's going to be right down to the checkered with these two, isn't it? It's going to be an easy win for Scott Kinder. Who's going to hold on? That'll be the checkered flag out for Scott Kinder here, race 2, the reverse grid race. So well done, Scott. That's a W for you. Going to be a fight to the checkered for these last 2. No, it's not. Michael Pateman going to get there, across the line there in second. Tim Horn, 3rd. Sam Werford, 4th. Ben Cunahan approaching the last corner here. So that'll be him across the line in 5th. And Paul Lancaster, just coming around the last corner now, will be the last car to cross the line. We will be back. Well, that's the end of the first 2 races here. So we will be back on with Paul soon. Paul will have plenty to say about that, I'd say. What happened there, Paul?
Taken out in both races, mates. What happened? The few clowns out there. Wouldn't mind seeing a couple of replays, but leave that in the hands of Ben. Big fella. With the fast 8 in, ready for the qualifying session here at the Red Bull Ring. GT4 Supra, 6-speed, sequential, and be interesting wee track, especially in these things. So tonight we've got Andrew Bruce, Blair Gabbities, Dallas Redhead, Morgan Dorr, Corbin Winter and Sam Daly, the 6 drivers out there for the Fast 6 for May. And we'll see how they go tonight. Blair Gabbity's coming off round win last month, so see how he goes the month of May. Wee bit of weaving there, get some heat in the tyres nice and early. Just the 5 minutes qualifying, so a couple of hot laps is really all you're going to get. And already a couple of cars here just jostling for a bit of position. Blair Gabbity's in the 77 Advant car. Already going wide there, quite a tricky wee corner that one. Come back down the hill and through the couple of left-handers. Takes a wee bit of sort of sorting out which gear to be in. They come down under the bridge. Someone already shooting off there. Just going to ruin their start to the race. Might have been Redhead in the purple rimmed car. Blair Gabbity's on screen. Tyres are glowing. The brake discs glowing, I should say. Goes Morgan Dorr, he's in the 434 car tonight. El Super Sub, as he's sort of known as from a couple of seasons back when he filled in for a few drivers that could not make the series. A bit of weaving going on as they come down the hill. And important to get a good run onto the long front straight. Drop down the hill here. Hug the curb nice and try not to run too wide as they come down to start their hot laps across the line here at the Red Bull Ring. So times you'll see up there on the screen, that's the out lap, so pretty forgiving this corner here. You can take some of that ripple strip out to the left if you need to and run a bit wide as they head up the hill, up to 6th gear up here. And chop it down to about 2nd, maybe 1st if you're looking like you're overshooting the corner. Andrew Bruce, the man in front at the moment there. See the 001 flashing on the screen. He's in the Yeti Automotive. That's a pretty fitting sponsor for Andrew Bruce. And Just the 6 drivers. Sam Daly, one of the newcomers to the Fast 6 here tonight. Andrew Bruce has got that clear air out in front. We should probably just about see him go fastest. He didn't have such a good week last week. As he comes down through the couple of left-handers here and then through the right-hander, it's quite easy to get sucked in by the ripple strip there and can unsettle the car. Drive up over the hill. 5th gear down to about 4th, maybe 3rd. Want to take a lot of ripple strip there, and you don't want to go out into that red stuff on the right-hand side because it slows the car down. Eventually, you get out there. It's not like you get a free run as Andrew Bruce is going to come down to set the first qualifying lap for the Fast 6 with a minute and a half left on the clock at 1:37.5. Corbin Winter straight away at 36.3. Dallas Redhead 37.8. Morgan Dorr 38.4. So Sam Daly at 1:40. Blair Gabberty's yet to come across the line, but I think he had a bit of a moment there. So he will have 1 lap to set a good time. Corbin Winter there in the purple rimmed car, and he's getting held up a wee bit there. Someone, certainly not what you want during qualifying. Tucked right on the bumper now. Oh, and he's getting balked a wee bit down the straight too. They should not be allowed during qualifying. That's for sure, whoever that was. Tell you what, some of the driving standards need to be looked at from some of them. And that there was a blatant block during qualifying session, so that should be looked at. But unfortunately, if I was Corbin Winter, I'd be a wee bit pissed off about that. He's at the top of the time tree at the moment though, 1:36.3, 20 seconds left on the clock. Some of them might be able to get round and get another lap in. Here goes Andrew Bruce. I'm thinking he might get another lap in if he needs it. Comes down the hill for the penultimate corner onto the long front straight. Only 6 seconds left on the clock. I don't think he's going to get across the line in time. Looking pretty good with the green and purple sector. Andrew Bruce comes down, go across a 36.8. Still half a second back from Corbin Winter. Puts him into second though. See what the rest of the times come through at. Dallas Redhead a 37.1. That's the way it's going to stay. So it's going to be Corbin Winter, Andrew Bruce on the front row, Dallas Redhead, Sam Daly. Good effort from him in the end on the second row. Blair Gabberty's and Morgan Doran. Just half a second between the whole lot of them. So pretty damn good. But the 10-lap race for the Fast 6 for the month of May. Let's see who gets the better start. 6-speed sequential box in the GT4. Away they go. And of course, as always, so it looks like it was loaded up for a 1-hour race. So we just have a wee bit of a reset there, Billy Rowley. It'll be a restart. But as I was just about to say, you've got to keep it in neutral until those lights go out. Then you can pluck your gear then. So reaction time, very important. Get yourself off the line. And these things do like lighting the rears up, getting them off the line. So try and pick second gear pretty quick. British touring cars you see on the screen there at the moment beside the GT4 Supra. That'll come a little bit later on around the Donington track. Looking forward to that one. Another one of the great tracks out of England. First up though, we are at the Red Bull Ring. So we're going to redo the qualifying by the looks of that. Only going to give them 3 minutes. So it's 1 out lap, 1 hot lap. That's it. So maybe Blair Gabberty's will be a wee bit happy about that. He was looking pretty sharp, and I think he had it off. And was the slowest of the 6 during the first lot of qualifying. Three minutes. They all head out of the pits. Should be a bit of a traffic jam, I imagine. Bit of panic starting to set in. Now that's Sam Daly. He's in the Revel racing car. Dark blue one right there on the screen. Sam Daly, reasonably new to the HOSS Championships. The Corbin Winter's got to do it all over again, on board with the young fella. Left-hand drive. Sound pretty good when you're on board with the headset on. Certainly a bit of a screamer, that's for sure. And the brakes, well, hard to pick the brakes up. This corner here is a pretty hard one here. You've got to go down to second, and it drops away and spits you out wide pretty quick. Down here fourth, you'll see them in fifth gear. Back down to fourth, maybe third through here. Got to be a wee bit patient to try and get a lot of understeer through there. And then as soon as you can see that ripple strip, fire in. On board with them. They come round to start their one and only hot lap, or qualifying lap. Getting lots of heat in the tyres there. Young Corbin. Certainly has been one to watch in the last few months down here at HOSS as they start their hot laps. I think it's Andrew Bruce who's the first one across the line from Blair Gabbity's, who's just up in front, the red car. See the quite a wide line there from Gabbity's. Way over the inside there. Oh, Corbin Winter just outbrakes himself a wee bit, lost a lot of time there, which is probably going to open the door up for someone like Andrew Bruce. And Dallas Redhead got the F-bombs coming already from over in the corner. I think he went wide. He's got a problem there. So Dallas Redhead not going to put in a decent time. Corbin Winter there. So Andrew Bruce and Blair Gabbity's just up in front. It'll be Andrew Bruce once again that comes across the line for a start. I think he did a 37 in the first qualifying. Of course, we just had to restart it. Corbin Winter got a wee bit to make up from that first corner. We lost a wee bit of time. There he is on screen. And the Falcon tyres, number 433. Quite tidy at the moment though. As they come up the hill and start heading down through the right-hander. Wee bit of a straight. Down to probably third gear again. Try and keep it on the track down here with a big long run down to the start-finish line. Andrew Bruce is going to be the first one across. What can he pull out of the bag? A 37.0. Gabbity's a 36.7. Good lap from Blair Gabbity's. Corbin Winter will be in behind him. He comes through with a 47, so not too sure what happens. He must have had an off-track excursion there somewhere, and the time will not count. Sam Daly ends up fourth. Oh, sorry. Up, where are they? Andrew Bruce, Blair Gabbity's. Plus Redhead there in third place, so he didn't really set a time. Just have to wait till the screen comes back up again just to confirm that, but it looks like Andrew Bruce will take the pole position. Blair Gabbity's, well, he'll be pretty happy that they reset the qualifying. Ball ring part of the Formula One circus. What? It's just the second race. Tim Horn just putting his hand up. Scotty Kinder not as much, but have to have a look at the replay tomorrow at work on the way to Fairley. Have her on YouTube on the windscreen of the car. She should be all good. So waiting on the lights out. Away we go. 10-lap race for the fast six. It's Andrew Bruce and Blair Gabbity's off the front row as they head down towards turn one. Brakes will still be cold and they'll be pretty ginger up through here for a start. Try not to go too wide. And it'd be nice to see what's going on. Believes we see a bit of a yellow flag going on up there. Looks like we've missed out on a wee bit of action, but it's Andrew Bruce. Sam Daly's gained a couple of spots up to second. Then in behind it's Blair Gabbity's with Corbin Winter tucked all over the back of him. Might have a wee duck up the inside. Winter has a wee dive up into here. Someone else here going right through and straight through, takes the leader out. I don't know who that was, but Sam Daly was it? No, he's come out in front. So, yeah, who was that? Morgan Dorr it was. Went straight ahead and took the leader out. Andrew Bruce a wee bit dirty on whoever that was. And Sam Daly pops out the other end in front. Dallas Redhead up to second. And Corbin Winter down in 6th place. So he got caught up in that bit of a prang as well. He was having a wee sniff up the inside there of Blair Gabbity's. And must have overshot the corner as well. So there'll be another few replays going on after this one. Sam Daly leads the way. What can these other experienced guys do from there? 10 laps, which is quite a long way. That's Andrew Bruce in 3rd place at the moment. Dallas Redhead, he's in the yellow car with the red rims. Sam Daly, 2.5 seconds back to Dallas Redhead down the hill through the last corner there, taking a wee bit of the inside line there. Corbin Winter not too far off the back of Morgan Dorr, both in recovering from that turn at 3 accident up the top of the hill. Sam Daly pulled out another couple of tenths too as they come down across the stripe. Dallas Redhead chasing in down as hard as you can. Andrew Bruce just 2.5 back, another second back to Blair Gabbity's as they wind their way up the hill. Fast 6 for May. Red Bull Ring, you see Blair Gabbity's way out in the boondocks there trying to get a better line out. I don't know if it's worked that well, but anyhow, getting up on the back of Andrew Bruce, under a second now for Gabbity's. As I say, had a good result from last month. Nice wee slide going on there from Andrew Bruce. The rear just coming around quite nice through that quite sharp downhill right-hander, and got to be patient through that corner and this one here too. You can get a lot of understeer, end up out in the kitty litter. It's going another tenth, just back to 6/10 of a second now. Blair Gabbity's. Corbin Winter's managed to get through on Morgan Dorr, so he's got a wee bit of, there he is in the background just coming through. Bit of work to do there with 8 odd laps to go. So come down across the stripe again. Second, third and fourth place cars, here they are on screen pretty close together. Sam Daly out to 3.7 at the moment. Out in front, 3 heavy hitters in behind him. Dallas Redhead, Andrew Bruce, Blair Gabbity's and Corbin Winter as well. So was that Andrew Bruce having a wee bit of a trouble there getting through that first turn. Has allowed Blair Gabbity's to get up beside him. He might have a sniff up the inside as they head up the hill. Looks like he might have got the job done already. Yes, Andrew Bruce can come back at him up the inside, which he does. And a wee bit of a touch between the two of them, but nothing wrong with that as Blair Gabbity's pokes out the other side in front. So up a spot for Gabbity's. Good passing move. We've seen him take lots of real estate there out to the left, coming into that corner at the top of the hill. Downhill right-hander here, down to second gear. Andrew Bruce gives him a bit of a nudge. Lets him know that he's still there. Try and get his nose up the inside, but he's going around the long way there, Andrew Bruce. Won't have a look up the inside here. Just keep the pressure on Blair Gabbity's. Back down the hill. Quite undulating, the Red Bull Ring. Lots of ups and downs and all around the show. Through the right-hander. The fourth gear up to fifth gear. As they head up over the crest. Chopper down to probably third gear. Go nice and tight there and try not to get out over the other side of that ripple strip because it soon stops you pretty quick out there. So the pressure's still on. Sam Daly in the meantime, he's just about 5 seconds out in front. He'll be looking in this rear vision mirror wondering where all these guys are. Andrew Bruce still over the back of Gabbity. See Gabbity's taking lots of dirt from the outside, and Andrew Bruce gets a better run up the hill, sneaks up the inside as they head up through the left-handed kink, and Gabbity's still holding the inside line though for the corner at the top of the hill. Going to be a close one with Andrew Bruce up the inside, but Gabbity is still holding that inside line, but he hasn't been able to take all the real estate like he normally would. Andrew Bruce might try and do the old up and under, head up the inside of them as they come through the wee right-hand sort of kink, down this long straight up to 5th gear, getting a wee bit tight there, getting squeezed, and then Gabbity's pulls over, leaves the door open. Andrew Bruce not deep enough, or is he? Just got his nose up in front, but the corner was pretty tight for him. In the end, Gabbity's is still going to have the right line back into the left-hander. Good wee battle going on between these two. In the meantime, Corbin Winter in the background, just a second off these two. Andrew Bruce having another wee look on Gabbity's through the left-hander at the bottom of the hill. They'll run back up the hill. So Dallas Redhead just up in front of them in the yellow car. It's got a safe enough wee gap at the moment. Not going to be long before Corbin Winter gets on the back of these two. So it's Gabbity's wee slide going on from Andrew Bruce, looking pretty good. It's a wheel out over that ripple strip though, which can unsettle the car. Down through the drop onto the front straight, fastest lap of the race, Sam Daly, a 1:36.3. Got it out to 5.5 seconds, 6 seconds now back to Dallas Redhead. Corbin Winter now sets the fastest lap of the race, he's on fire. Oh, Andrew Bruce just locks the rears up coming into the first corner. He's lost a bit of momentum. Here goes Corbin Winter, going to have a sneak up the inside of him now as they run up the hill through the left-hander, the left-handed kink, I should say. And he's side by side with Andrew Bruce. Just a wee mistake, you see, and that's all it takes now. Down in the braking zone, heavy braking zone it is. Takes the inside line, gets a wee bit of air, and couldn't quite take the pressure there from Corbin Winter, and Andrew Bruce gets airborne a wee bit and drops down to 5th. Corbin Winter up to 6th, to 4th, I should say. And Gabbity's now trying to put a charge on Dallas Redhead halfway through the race, with the Sam Daly still out in front, 6.2 seconds. Back to Redhead. Now Gabbity's under a second to Redhead. He did have about 2.5 seconds the gap lap or so previous. Run down the hill through the left-right combination, then back up the hill. Getting noticeably closer now, Blair Gabbity's, and Corbin Winter's only a second and a bit further back as well. So Redhead's going to come under some humongous pressure very shortly as they run back through the right-hander in the downhill section. Last corner and onto the front straight. Everyone looking pretty tidy through there. Still Sam Daly though out in front, 7.5 seconds lead for Sam Daly. And look at the lines that Blair Gabbity's are taking. Way out over the left, and Corbin Winter way out over right there on the exit, which you can sort of get away with. So traffic limits not too bad during a race trim. Obviously during qualifying, the areas again way out on the concrete, trying to get the line better for the run out. Now he's right on the back of Dallas Redhead as they head along the top straight. 4th gear up to 5th gear on the downhill right-handed corner. You don't want to overshoot yourself here. Look at Gabbity's once again. He's loving that concrete tonight. Gets the car into a bit of a slide. And Redhead's still going to hang on though. Coming out of the right-handed downhill. Then through the left-hander. Got to be patient through here to get the car to turn in. If you try giving it a bit of acceleration, you'll get a lot of understeer there. Aim through here, get it pointed around to this corner. Look at Winter, just half a second further back, so not even a second between these three cars. And Andrew Bruce back there in 5th place. Morgan Dorr was also in the picture at the back. If anything happens to these three, Corbin Winter taking plenty of the red stuff, which will slow him down a wee bit. Here we go with Blair Gabbity's going to have a look at Dallas Redhead. Corbin Winter, fastest lap of the race, a 35.7. The first 35 we've seen all night. Bit of a touch between these two as Blair Gabbity's had a look on Redhead and just let him know he's there. But Redhead manages to hang on, still 2nd, 3rd and 4th on screen. And then also Andrew Bruce there is not too far back. Sam Daly though, 7.6 seconds the lead, way out in front. And that's Gabbity's just starting to look a wee bit ragged there as he tried to get around that corner without hitting that inside ripple strip, and it can throw the car up in the air a bit, and that loses you a fair bit of traction. And you can see just how much he's lost there. He goes Winter late on the brakes from 4th place. Ellis Redhead in the yellow and black car, Gabbity's in the black and red, and then that's Corbin Winter there in the black and grey car with the pink or purple rims, whichever way you want to look at it. Good battle going to go on here very shortly. See if Redhead can withstand the pressure. Andrew Bruce ain't too far back either in 5th. Back up the hill, over the top into the downhill right-hander. Winter now, only half a car length to Gabbity's. Down the last corner, looks like he might have a run on him this time, Corbin Winter. With the two of them might be able to utilise a bit of drafting down the long front straight. Dallas Redhead on the outside. Here goes Gabbity's up the inside, gets a wee bit of touch this Redhead from Winter. Just unsettles him enough, and don't know what happened to Gabbity's there, but he's been swamped up a fair bit. And in the end, Redhead comes out the other end, still in front, but Corbin Winter goes up to 3rd. Gabbity's didn't have that wide line into that corner like he's taking here. You just see he's out in the concrete there, be working for Draginges shortly, or Firth or someone like that. Loves his concrete. And now Redhead just had a wee bit of a brain fade there and went wide and allowed Corbin Winter up through. And so did Blair Gabbity's. So Redhead back to 4th place. What can we... Oh, looks like got a big punt from behind. And rightly so. Corbin Winter having a whinge in the background, but certainly, yeah, that's dead right, mate. He's still going on about it, but I would be too. That was... who was that? That was Blair Gabbity's. Yeah, Blair Gabbity's straight into the rear. So Billy Rowley's going to have his hands full tonight sorting out all the crap that's been going on with some of the driving standards here. You can see that coming a mile away. Still going on about it, the young fella. You're not holding back, that's for sure. But it's put him back down at the back of the pack when he was fighting for 2nd place. And Sam Daly, look at our race leader, 11 seconds out in front. Just picking off a second or so a lap. And doing it really easy at the moment, that's for sure. In fact, I don't think I've seen him all race. I've been too busy concentrating on this lot here. Blair Gabbity's sitting in 2nd place. Really should be hit with a drive-through, or a 5-second penalty will put him at the back of the pack, that's for sure. And Andrew Bruce, recovery back up to 3rd. Dallas Redhead in 4th place. Oh, another F-bomb coming from over the shoulder. Andrew Bruce. Round he goes, spinning it all by himself there in the Yeti car. Goes to the back of the pack with a lap and a bit left to go. Here goes Winter trying to make a move on Morgan Dorr. Dorr comes across on him and sits middle of the track, but Winter a lot later on the brakes. Oh, gets a bit of a slide going on, and Morgan Dorr did well not to run into him. It looks like going to be a 3-car sandwich here in a minute with Redhead. Just a bit of a slow out of the corner. Still hanging on at the moment. Winter does the crossover as they head back down the hill. We touch between the two of them. Still side by side, but Winter's got his nose in front. Morgan Dorr wants a piece of the cake as well. Dallas Redhead gives him a wee nudge, lets him know he's there as they come through the right-hander and start heading back up the hill. He's all on for anybody. And Corbin Winter in 3rd place. Here goes Redhead, just getting close in the back there. And here goes Morgan Dorr. Late on the brakes, trying to get the run up the inside of Redhead, and he'll be side by side with him as they head down the long straight with the last lap underway. And race leader Sam Daly, he'll just about be up the top of the hill, 10 seconds out in front. Morgan Dorr just outbraked himself. It's going to allow Redhead to get back up the inside on the run up the hill, and Morgan Dorr pulls back in. But yeah, Gabbity's sitting there in 2nd place with a huge question mark over that position. Corbin Winter sitting there in third place, so it's just deserts of Gabbity's did get a 5-second penalty, put Winter back up to second place, which is probably where he probably deserves. Down in the braking zone again, Morgan closes up a wee bit on Redhead. A four-wheel drift going on there to try and stop the thing in the corner. Back down the hill. Through the couple of left-handers here. To Redhead in the yellow car. Been second for most of it. Fourth place at the moment. So it's Daly. 10.5 seconds. If we just pick up the leader, Billy just about to be going across the start-finish line, I'd imagine. Here he is here. Come down the front straight. He'll be wondering where everybody is. He's going to take the race win. Well deserved, Sam Daly. Started off the back of the grid, 7th place, and of course with all that shit that went on in the first lap, he come out looking pretty good. Blair Gabbity's comes across the stripe second, and Corbin Winter third. Dallas Redhead fourth, Morgan Dorr and Andrew Bruce. That's the way they finish up, bar any penalties. And there should be one or two. Right, so reverse grid, we'll reverse them up. Morgan Dorr putting his hand up for that first lap crash. But it's Andrew Bruce and Morgan Dorr off the front row. Dallas Redhead, Corbin Winter, Blair Gabbity's and Sam Daly off the back row of the grid again. Let's see if he can do what he did in the race previous. Away we go, another 10 laps reverse grid as I get underway. Everyone off to a reasonably good start here in Austria. And it looks like it's going to be Andrew Bruce from Morgan Dorr. Redhead up the inside, tries to get his nose up there, ends up having a spin. And another cry of desperation there from Redhead goes to the back of the pack as Winter now all over the back of Morgan Dorr as they head up through the left-handed kink up to the top of the hill for the first lap. And Andrew Bruce, Corbin Winter, just late on the brakes there and just outdoes himself slightly. He might be able to come back across. Oh, just gets a wee bit of a hit there from Morgan Dorr. And Morgan Dorr also having a wee bit of a whinge. Like we're working in an old nursing home tonight. Everyone's whinging about the food. And not over yet. Oh, it says Morgan Dorr into the back of Corbin Winter again. Gets his nose in front. That's Sam Daly up to 4th place. He's in behind these two. Corbin Winter giving as good as what he's been getting. And into the side of door, here goes Sam Daly. Just gives Morgan Dorr a wee bit of a hit too as they come through the left-hander at the bottom of the hill. Corbin Winter, you see, he's getting another couple of hits here from Morgan Dorr. That's another one that needs looking at, Billy Rowley. You have to get your notebook out and start writing shit down because there's quite a few to remember. And once again, Corbin Winter hard done by. Yes, this is the fast eight. This is supposed to be the good guys. It normally be nice clean racing, and here goes Corbin Winter on the back of Gabbity's, and you'll find that Gabbity's just trying to close the corner on him, and straight through goes Winter. Puts him. And now we've got Blair Gabbity's having a bit of a whinge, and he just needs to watch a replay of that last race, and he'll probably shut up for a wee while. But down into the braking zone they go for the second lap. Yeah, so Corbin Winter, 4th place, managed to get up in front of Blair Gabbity's. Andrew Bruce out in front by 3.4 seconds though. He's just going up through the corner at the top of the hill and starts to head across the straight at the top. A wee bit of getting your back going on tonight, that's for sure. As Redhead tries to get a toe down the straight with Corbin Winter. Dallas Redhead, Blair Gabbity's at the back of the pack. Down into the hard braking zone. Gabbity's once again out there on the concrete. Trying to get a tighter line through the downhill right-hander. Still going downhill here. Couple of downhill left-handers. A wee bit of a poke on the accelerator here. Pointer in. A wee tap on the brakes here just to try and get the car pointed around the corner from Corbin Winter. Andrew Bruce though, out in front, doing it all on his own. 3.7 seconds the lead. Back to Sam Daly, who once again started 7th and is up to 2nd, looking pretty good for winning the round here at the Red Bull Ring anyway. Andrew Bruce sets the fastest lap of the race. Comes the rest of them. The Corbin Winter there. Race leader Andrew Bruce had a couple of spins taken out. So didn't have a very good first race. And once again, Dallas Redhead having a big spin and just managing to get it back on. He's had to reverse it out of the fence. There he is there on screen, Dallas Redhead. And there was another F-bomb coming from his corner, so he's had one a race. Morgan Dorr there in 3rd place. 2nd and a half back from Sam Daly. Sam Daly there going around the corner in that purpley grey car, who just braked himself through that last corner, did Morgan Dorr. Not the last corner, that's the corner at the end of the top straight. Sitting in 3rd place though, 3 seconds back from Daly now. And 3 seconds in front of Corbin Winter. His Gabbity's only half a second back off him. So starting to string themselves out a wee bit now. Dallas Redhead 24 seconds further back, so pretty much game over for him. Morgan Dorr. Question mark over Morgan as well tonight. Just into the back of Corbin Winter there on the 1st to 2nd lap. 10 lap race, quite a long wee race. In the GT4 Supra, rear-wheel drive, left-hand drive car, 6-speed, using the sequential gear shifts in them tonight in the simulator. On the run up the hill, there's the gap there from Corbin Winter and Blair Gabbity's. That's for 4th and 5th. Once again, Gabbity's out there to work for a building company, the amount of concrete he's having tonight. Just a half a car length now back from Winter. Only 2nd straight pretty much along the top of the track. Once again taking the wide line in. Blair Gabbity is trying to get the run up the inside. Not working for him though. Winter's just put a couple of car lengths on him out of that corner. Meanwhile out in front, Andrew Bruce 4 seconds in front of Sam Daly. Here at Austria, the Red Bull Ring. Sort of around for a number of years, the Red Bull Ring. It ran in Formula 1 in the 70s and 80s, and then it had a bit of a hiatus before it came back. Ownership of the Red Bull boss. Dieter Matchesitz, or whatever his name was, and of course he died a couple of years ago, didn't he? But still, I think it's owned by the Red Bull family of companies. Blair Gabbity's fastest lap of the race at 35.7 from 5th place. And just outdoes himself there, trying to get the power down with that wide line in. And in the end, he's going to lose it out a couple of 3 seconds. He's the race leader, Andrew Bruce. He'll be keeping an eye on the distance to the car and behind Sam Daly. Not really making any sort of impression at all in this one. Sam Daly won the race previous by about 10 seconds. A nice wee 4-wheel drift into the corner there from Andrew Bruce. Getting it to turn around the corner a wee bit better and also taking a wee bit of speed off at the same time. If we can go on board with them, really, it'd be quite nice just to see what sort of gears he's using. You see 3rd gear through here, quite patient until you can see that ripple strip. In short shift into 4th and up to 5th. Might hit 6 coming up over the crest. We'll keep her there. Then down to either 4th or 3rd, depending on your preference. Keep her on the inside of that ripple strip there and drop it down the hill. Nice and tidy stuff at the moment from Andrew Bruce as he comes down to reel off another lap. You can see there he's got a camera looking in behind there. See what's going on. Fourth down to third. Take a fair bit of that. You can go quite wide through there too. And then the big wind up the hill here, you can have a wee bit of a breather as long as no one's on your tail. And you get up to sixth gear. And then look for the 100 metre board on the left there, and then hard on the brakes and chop it down to about second if you can. Nice tidy stuff at the moment from Andrew Bruce. Not under any sort of pressure whatsoever. Can't even see the second place car in the background. Just see it come out in the shot on the rear vision camera. And this is the downhill tricky section here. Third down to second. We would have he stayed in third, so quite good watching what sort of gears they're into. Fourth, maybe down to third, just to try and get a wee bit of mechanical braking going on. Fourth place, short shift back to third, keep it tight in there, and then as soon as you see that ripple strip, short shifter in the fourth back up the hill. So nice tidy stuff at the moment, but not putting the mockers on him. We have seen him do it all on his own out in front before too, Andrew Bruce. Ooh, he just gets a wheel up over there. You can see how rough it is out there. He comes down to reel off another one, so it'll be 3 laps to go. Here's the second place man in the background there, Sam Daly. 4.7, another 4.5 back to Morgan Dorr. Then another 5 seconds back to Corbin Winter, so they're really stretching themselves out a wee bit now. The battle, if any, is these two here. Corbin Winter in 4th place. And Blair Gabbities once again does the fastest lap of the race, a 35.6. And taking lots of curb there. Pretty lucky that there's no track limits tonight during race trim anyway. As they run up the hill, you see them come over left here. Once again, over the other side of the ripple strip. Still don't think it's the fastest way around there. As you see, he's taking quite a bit on the exit as well. And doesn't seem to be any closer at all. So, all over the place at the moment as Gabbities hasn't really completed a clean lap. So I've just been told. All of that concrete. So this is where the battle is, just under a second between the two of these guys. Andrew Bruce still though 4.5 seconds out in front, looking pretty sharp. Gaps have remained the same, but between the top 4 cars anyway. 4.5 to Sam Daly, 4.5 back to Morgan Dorr, and 5 seconds back to Corbin Winter. And now just 0.3 of a second between this battle here. Wee bit of history between these two so far in the races tonight. At the moment it's Corbin Winter sitting there in 4th place. Gabbities out in the boondocks again of the concrete. On the run up the hill, Andrew Bruce doing it nicely at the moment. You see him going up round through it. It was Sam Daly you've seen up through the top of the hill. Once again, in the concrete. He'll try and get a tighter line in through here, but he's not any faster than anyone else taking those wide lines. Redhead's still 26 seconds further back, so just cruising around, having fun. Winter will know that Gabbities is tucked in behind, pretty much a hand grenade with the pin out. You never know when it's going to go off. And we've seen that from a few of these guys tonight. Morgan Dorr, obviously, lap 1. The old hand grenade went out the window up at the top of the hill and took out the race leader. So Sam Daly is probably the closest he's been all race, 3.8, and shoots out to 4 again, so say 4 seconds for Andrew Bruce. They come down with a couple of laps left to go. Sam Daly sitting in second place, looking to take good points with his win in the first race. Looking pretty sharp at the moment. We head to Donington Park next. After this one, go back to the Tier 2 guys. Andrew Bruce, Sam Daly, Morgan Dorr. Almost think that Gabby's gets a glimpse of that bumper and he tries to get on the back of it, then just overshoots himself and lets Corbin Winter away again. Out to about a second. Different lines being taken there once again from these two. So a couple of the newbies that you could say in the Fast 6, Sam Daly and Corbin Winter. He's been here for the last few months in the competition side of things and going to be another kid to look out for in the future. I think Dad needs to get him in a Formula Ford or something like that pretty quick. Andrew Bruce. So the gap from first to second, just starting the last lap now, Andrew Bruce. All about 4.2 seconds back to Sam Daly. Morgan Dorr not making any impression either. He's just under 4 seconds further back there in third place. The gaps have been about the same for these guys last 4 or 5 laps. There's Sam Daly there. Winner of race 1 tonight for the Fast 6. And should be leading the Fast 6 points after the first 2 races. Of course, 2 more races each at Donington Park tonight. And nice and smooth as Sam Daly through there. There's Morgan Dorr out in his lonesome again, which is pretty good. He's got no one to hit. And this battle still continuing for 4th and 5th. It looks like Corbin Winter will take points for 4th. Much Gabbities can do from back there. He's tried every sort of line he can. Trying to even out some of the corners, but just not working for him. As we go back to the race leader, Billy, just about to be coming across the line, I'd say Andrew Bruce. Here he is, in fact, comes through, takes the race win, Andrew Bruce from 4th place starting. Sam Daly will come through for 2nd. And then Morgan Dorr come through for a podium there in 3rd place. Corbin Winter will come through in 4th. Blair Gabbities and Dallas Redhead rounds out the Fast 6 for the second race here at the Red Bull Ring. The Supra GT4s. We'll have a short break. Be back for the Tier 2s from Donington Park in England.
Everybody outside.
It was hot.
Right, getting set for the Donington Park section of the night. I'll hand over to Corey Kitchen for commentary.
Yep. Right, here we are, we're at Donington now, so a move over to Europe, well, further over Europe from Austria. And just the four guys here for Tier 2. And Honda British touring car. These things will rev out, I'd say. 5-cylinder VTEC. Tim Horn, Michael Pateman, Ben Coonahan and Paul Lancaster for this one, so just a short 5-minute qualifying. 3.13 kilometre circuit, 36 metres of elevation as well. And would you believe it, it's sunny in Great Britain. It's a rarity. Would be all full noise here, so these boys probably going to get a couple of laps in here around Donington. Very popular track for sim racers out there. Whenever we see this one in GT3s and V8s, there is always plenty of people eager to get amongst it. Of course, a lot of people will remember it from back in the Tonka touring cars days, back on your PlayStation 1. This was one of those games. So the early pace, Paul Lancaster, he's got it roughly 3 seconds quicker than the other 3 drivers at the moment. They'll probably get about 3 laps in this qualifying session. Same again as we did see for the first round at Red Bull Ring. Their reverse grid second race. Paul Lancaster eating a little bit more time there. Green in his first sector. We'll see how it goes for the second one. If he can improve on his 1:33.7 that he's done already, making up for the lost ground in that first race where it wasn't a good time for Paul. Goes a little bit wide, so that's going to scrub any efforts there and a bit of a bump there, so that possibly could have affected Michael Pateman's lap as well. A little bit wide through the gravel trap. Some nasty curbs here at Donington as well. That last corner always messes me up. No, they have enough time to probably get 2 laps in. They've all crossed the line. And 1:14 for Tim Horn, fastest lap so far. Ben Coonahan, a 1:21. Paul Lancaster doesn't improve on that first qualifying lap. Obviously, and there goes Michael Pateman off into the gravel. Gonna have to get his move on if he wants to get another lap in for qualifying here. Tim Horn on it again, purple first sector, so this lap is going to be good as well. Already 7 seconds quicker than P2 at the moment. Must be something in the water at Hilton Haulage. Of course, no Scott to race with in this one, so it's the 4 guys. This will be followed up by a reverse grid, and then Tier 2 will be back, or Fast 8, I guess it is called, sorry. So that's 2 purple sectors for the first 2 for Tim Horn and low one, but goes slightly quicker by about a second to a 1:13.32. Absolutely moving. Now they're all going to get at least this lap in, and there goes Paul Lancaster off on gravel there. So these cars obviously really hard to handle. after getting out of a rear-wheel drive Supra into a front-wheel drive Honda Civic. That 1:13 for Tim Horn is the time to beat Michael Pateman on a personal best for the first sector. He can do any better here. He can. It goes personal best in the second sector as well, so hopefully a better third sector will improve on his time. Just about 9 seconds the difference between him and Ben Coonahan in second at the Paul Lancaster still hasn't improved on that 1:33, and Michael Pateman improves up into second spot with a 1:13.4, so just slightly slower than Tim Horn. So Paul Lancaster will be hoping to get better time, and he's the last car to come across the line in this qualifying session. Out onto the back straight for him. Be down through this last chicane at the end of here, which is very dicey at the best of times. Trying to get one of these things stopped there is not going to be easy either. On the brakes down, so we'll see if he improves on his time. Is a fair bit slower than the other cars, but obviously getting out of a Supra, then doing some commentary for 2 races. Bit of a wobble across the line, and it keeps him in 4th, so no improvement. We're on the grid. Here we go for race 1 here. Reverse grid race to follow up. Listen to those revs. Well, we'll just see who gets the better start here. Oh, the wheel spin, the front wheels, and they've gone nowhere for, looks like, Tim Horn. So off pole position, straight to the back. Great start for Michael Pateman, already up there. Paul Lancaster will be happy considering the qualifying session that we've just had. So he's up into the front already. Maybe he was sandbagging. But 11 laps around here, Donington, a very unforgiving circuit at the best of times. So with just the 4 cars, they all should be fairly close together. First lap here, Donington, cold tyres, so I'm guessing it's going to be a little bit dicey in some spots in these things as well. On board here, Ben Coonahan currently at the back, so Tim Horn's already got around him. He's slightly, well, not too far off the back of Michael Pateman now. Tim Horn putting a little bit of pressure on, so these top 3, 4 guys there are just sort of keeping in touch at the moment. Tim Horn up into second, so something's happened to Michael Pateman. We've missed that. He's now 10 seconds behind the lead, so there we go. We can see him just crossing the line there now, so something's going on there for Michael Pateman, not his night. Tim Horn back up into second after going to the back after that start. So 2 laps down, 9 to go. Look at the rubber already all over the track. What a place to take some British touring car legends to. Oh, there we go. Ben Coonahan licks the fence after going through the gravel there, so unlucky for him. But he's going to have Michael Pateman go around him. Yes, he has. So Michael Pateman gets back up into 3rd. Paul Lancaster, he's opened up a 1.5 second lead over Tim Horn here. So that sandbagging and qualifying from Paul definitely has the race pace, but can he hold it there and stay there? That is the question. We will definitely find out the answers fairly soon as he goes past this lap too. That 1 second gap there to Tim Horn now as well. Michael Pateman, he's 12 seconds back, or 10 seconds back. And then Ben Kernahan is 20 odd seconds back behind them as well. So you can see on the track map, he's just coming up the front straight and across the start finish line. These guys in first and second are just about to finish the first sector. .8 of a second, the difference between these front two. So this Tim's just holding on there. We did see that in the first race tonight too. Held in there. Didn't quite get to the end though. So we've got an inboard here with Tim Horn. Take a little bit of curb. But there's no objects in his mirror. That is for sure. Well, they are Michael Payman, but he's 11 seconds down the road behind. You don't take too much curb there. That sausage curb's pretty nasty. Oh, that's some full lock steering there. So right up on the back of Paul Lancaster here now. Can he hold it? That is it. Fifth gear, then down onto the brakes. Probably down into second for this one, or third. Oh, Paul Lancaster goes wide. Lucky to keep out of the gravel. But that is going to give that position up to Tim Horn. And there'll be no looking back. Oh, now it's Tim Horn's chance. He's gone wide onto the grass, and that gives the spot back to Paul Lancaster. So these two trading grass passes. Come down the back straight of the Donington Raceway here. The third last corner there onto the back straight. One of those tracks where you've got to really think about where your passing opportunities are. You've got to look at the person in front of you. You've got to work out where they're slower, where you can take those opportunities. Maybe a little bit too much curb there. So that gap, 1.2 seconds now. Paul Lancaster out in front. So now it's just a matter of staying there. And then we go 1:14 flat is the fastest lap of the race so far. Tim Horn. So keeping in touch at the moment. Both these guys have made the front and then made mistakes. So keeping going is the way at the moment. Oh, and there we go. There's a mistake from Paul Lancaster. Going to gather it back up. Did he stay on? Oh, he's still trying to gather it up. There's a little bit more grass. That's going to open up the spot for Tim Horn. So now it's traded back to him to open up a little bit of a gap over Paul. And he must have spun around, so that gap is now 6 seconds. So he's going to be under pressure from Pateman. It looks like Pateman's got around him, so a bit of gathering up there from Paul Lancaster. So Michael Pateman up into second now. Paul Lancaster going to have to fight back. That's an 8-second lead for Tim Horn now, approaching halfway, probably about now, as they cross the line for the 6th lap soon. Ben Kernahan a further 18 seconds back from Paul Lancaster, but Paul right on the back here of Michael Pateman, put a little bit of pressure on, find a way past. Maybe this turn one, if he can get up the inside. No, he's to the outside. We'll wait for the dive. No, not close enough, not close enough. So that plays all good for Michael Pateman at the moment. They both go wide, so that's just a case of Paul Lancaster following Michael Pateman's line there. Both cars end up off in the grass. Pateman's still out in the front. Lancaster all over the back in the mirrors. Just trying to find a place to get by at the moment. A hell of a lead for Tim Horn, out to 10 seconds now. The battle is for P2 and P3 at the moment between Michael Pateman and Paul Lancaster. Just out over half a second there at the moment. Paul Lancaster definitely showing pace at this track in this car. Got a few laps to get that pressure. Keep in the mirrors. Let them know you're there. Come across the line again, and 4 laps to go now. 5. that gap out to 0.7 of a second. So Paul Lancaster, a little bit of work to do as he goes wide. Tim Horn now 11.5 second lead out the front. Nothing worrying for him. Ben Kernahan just crossing the line. So these cars fairly well spread out. How good would the safety car be? That's where the battle is. 4 laps to go. Paul Lancaster going to have enough for Michael Pateman. Check it out, coming up into the chicane. Paul just going to find that spot to get by him. At the moment, Michael Pateman making that Honda Civic at least half a track wide. Got to take the right lines into some of these corners too to get the right run out. We see them up at turn 1, a little bit too much curb there maybe for Paul Lancaster. But he is there or thereabouts. He is right behind Michael Pateman. Though that gap now 0.27 of a second. It's just a matter of finding that right time. That gap at the front has eaten away a little bit as well, out to down to 9.3 seconds. It was out over 10 seconds there not too long ago. Paul Lancaster and Michael Pateman's pace is pretty similar at the moment. Can't separate these two. Let's see if he can get a little bit closer. Get a good run out of here. So he really cut the corner, or did a little bit of late braking there for Michael Pateman. So that'll put Paul Lancaster back in front of him, but maybe a bit of a corner cut there. Exceeding track limits, one would say. Tim Horn, though, out the front. 10 seconds adrift. It's about halfway around this 9th lap. No chance of rain here at Donington. The lead out the front is now out to 11.5 seconds over Paul Lancaster, who has a 2.5 second lead over Michael Pateman. Ben Kernahan is in 4th and around 40 seconds behind Michael Pateman, so possibly could get lapped here. That was definitely a corner cut. That gap stayed the same, so this will be this one, then one more after this to round it out. It'll be a reverse grid race, so Ben Kernahan will get a chance to start off the front. Tim Horn off the back, which is where he ended up after the start of this one. Worked his way back up to the front and has opened up a near on 12-second lead. All these cars are fairly spread out now. A 9-second lead back from Paul Lancaster, back to Michael Pateman, and then 40 seconds back to Ben Kernahan. Tim Horn has got this one in the books, he's hoping. Looking pretty good at the moment. We see the flames out the back of the Civic. Of course, if you're watching this and envious, want to get involved, then definitely get onto the HOSS website and sign up for a membership, because these guys, they come down here and have an absolute blast, a great time. And it's all ages. A young fella Corbin here too. We've got older guys like Paul Lancaster. I can't say he's too old. He's probably not that much older than me, but pretty awesome to see. Fastest lap of the race, a 1:12.647 from Tim Horn. So low on fuel, high on pace. He's got one more lap to go to get this one done. We see second and third just crossing the line now. That gap now 13.7 seconds back to Paul Lancaster, and then a further almost 9 seconds back to Michael Pateman now from Paul Lancaster. Well, let's just hope that the second race is a little closer. Come on, Ring. There we go. Smart by Ben Kernahan, slowing up, letting the race leader cross, and that is a win and a fastest lap on the last one, a 1:11.9. So absolute pace on for Tim Horn. Paul Lancaster is going to cross the line in second. Michael Pateman will cross the line in third. Ben Kernahan has already crossed the line, but will be fourth. And we'll be right back into a reverse grid race right up next. Tim Horn hoping he's not going to stall it. So that was the issue with the first one, stalled it off the line. Here we go, the reverse grid race, Ben Kernahan off the front. Wait for the lights to go out. Sounds like everybody got a decent start. Although it looked like Ben Kernahan bogged down, he's going to find himself at the back already. Michael Pateman, a good start. Now, reverse grid, always, well, when it's a bigger grid, makes it a little bit more exciting. 4 cars, not too exciting. But at least you can go home and say you were top 4. Hey, Billy. A little bit of pressure there. Tim Horn on the back of Michael Pateman here this first lap as he lets him go by. Probably wise. 11 laps around here. You don't want to up it all up in the first lap. Now pretty much just the same case. Same 3 guys there up the front. They're all fairly close again. So can they hold it on? Can Ben Kernahan keep up? A little bit wide there out of the chicane there for Paul Lancaster. A little bit of a run through the grass. The car's into turn 1 here. Brakes are glowing. Flames are throwing. Looking good for Tim Horn again. He's already opened out of a 1.5 second lead there off Michael Pateman. Absolutely throwing it down. Yeah, that's a 1.5 second, well, almost 2 seconds lead there already. So finishing off, or carrying on what he finished in the last race, Tim Horn. These cars are already spread out a little bit, so this could be a little bit of a boring one to watch. Definitely not a lot to talk about when they're this far apart. Bit of a challenge. Well, already about to cross the line and into lap 3 already. Tim Horn, 2.5 second lead. Paul Lancaster sort of keeping in touch with Michael Pateman. Not as close as they were in the last race. But again, Tim Horn's race to lose here at this point. Oh, a little bit wide there. Paul Lancaster throwing up a bit of dirt. Gap at the front, still staying the same. Sort of looking for something to talk about here. A little bit quiet. Maybe not as experienced as Mr. Lancaster is on the microphone. Through the chicane for this end of lap 3 here. Still the cars still fairly close together. First and second fairly close together. That's over a 3 second gap there. Tim Horn back to Michael Pateman. So definitely carrying on where he left off in the last race, Tim Horn. From the back of the grid to the front. So this is tier 2 of the HOSS members race night. Oh, Paul Lancaster again, out in the grass, mowing the lawns. Need to get yourself in a rhythm. It's one of those tracks where you need to get flow, get rhythm, keep your head down and just keep putting in the numbers. That's what Tim Horn's doing at the moment, and it's paying off. It's close out to a 4 second lead there at the front, as we're not too far off. We're a lap and a bit off half distance here for race 2. So tier 1, the fast 8 to follow this as well for the same again. 2 races, reverse grid for the second, and that's a 1:11.888 for Tim Horn, fastest lap, and that will be up there with his fastest lap from the last race as well. So improving in pace is what you want. Paul Lancaster hasn't lost touch with Michael Pateman. But he hasn't had any chances to make his way past. If there hasn't been one, there is a chance coming here now, as this is the closest we've seen him, right on the back of Michael Pateman here now. So just going to bide his time and find a place to go. Maybe too much curb there. Loses a little bit of that ground. He seems to be making it up under braking. Gap at the front out to 6 seconds now, so Tim Horn on a mission, leaving these guys behind. Paul Lancaster not quite close enough. See how he can do. He seems to be fairly good under brakes. Oh, he's all over it behind him. Paul Lancaster looking for another chance. So far this race, Michael Pateman has managed to hold him off. Good wee battle in the first before both of them giving way to each other via the grass. These two battling together as played into Tim Horn's hands, almost out to 7 second lead there at the front. Half distance now, 5 to go. Over 7 seconds, that gap back to Michael Pateman. Well, something happened. Something must have happened to Tim Horn. That gap, it's chopped in half. Yeah, that's only a 1.6 second lead, so something happened to Tim Horn. Maybe made a mistake somewhere. We'll hear about that at the end of the race. Paul Lancaster gets the job done on Michael Pateman. It took 7 laps, but they immediately goes wide and onto the grass. So that's going to open the door back up Michael Pateman is going to try. He's going to go down the inside. It's going to mean Paul Lancaster's going to have to sit up to try and do a switch back on him. So he's going to have to do it all again. 4 laps left in the books here for Tier 2 tonight. Tim Horn still leads. It's not a big gap anymore though. 2.9 seconds. Paul Lancaster is all over the back here of Michael Pateman, just waiting for a chance. The top 3 running fairly close together. Looks like they're within about 4 seconds of each other. The gap now at the front out to 3 seconds. And Paul Lancaster dropped off the back of Michael Pateman too, so that's given him a bit of a buffer. 1 second is the gap. We've got 3 to go here, folks. Then the big boys will be back. So Tim Horn having to build that lead back out again. It was down to 1.5 seconds. It's now back out to 2.7, 2.6. Bit of work to do. Paul Lancaster now dropping off a little bit from Michael Pateman, keeping it around that 1 second. Ben Kernahan back down in 4th. Looking pretty close. Yeah, with Paul Lancaster having another look there on Michael Pateman. He's going to make a move here at turn 1. Pateman goes wide to get the better line. Going to get a bit of a switchback. No, Paul Lancaster goes wide onto the grass. So again, that's left it open. Michael Pateman is clear by 3.4 seconds now of Paul Lancaster. We've got 3 to go. Tim Horn 3 seconds out in front. Looking pretty easy for him. Maybe he'll have to move up to Tier 1. And that gap sitting around that 3 seconds between the top 3 now. Almost out to 4 seconds for P3 as well. Ben Kernahan a further 38 seconds back. Just heavy. Put it in your pocket. There you go. No, Tim Horn is going to be coming around this next time, and it's going to be the white flag. So 4 second gap from Horn back to Pateman now. Lancaster a further 3.5 back from Pateman. This one's pretty much written itself. Looks like we're going to have the white flag out this time by Tim Horn, just coming down the back straight. Michael Pateman second, Paul Lancaster third, Ben Kernahan in 4th. Through the chicane here for the second last time. Points are fairly close. They gap out the front, almost back out to 4.5 or just over 4.5 seconds. But the gap back, Paul Lancaster may have made a mistake there somewhere. Tim Horn on his final lap. Oh, you don't want to stuff it up on your last lap. That's fairly wide there and run through the gravel. It's got to hold on. We've got a few corners to go. The top 3 now spread barely over half of the track. A 4-second gap back to Michael Pateman, 10 seconds back to Lancaster, 35 seconds back to Coonahan. Down the back straight for the last time tonight for Tim Horn, through the chicane for the last time here, and onto the front straight it will be to get himself a victory. Tim Horn crossing line here for first, Michael Pateman not too far behind in second. Started 9th out of 4. Paul Lancaster crosses the line for third. It'll be Ben Coonahan across the line for fourth.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bad we track. Rightio, getting ready for the Fast 6 from Donington Park. We'll go straight into qualifying. I guess it's a 5-minute qualifying session. Quite a nice little track to drive around, especially in these front-wheel drive British touring cars. Scream their nuts out a bit. They do cook the front tyres pretty quick though. And you can ride the curbs quite nicely in these things. So, it'll be interesting to see. Billy's put the wrong track in. Looks like we've got the cars at the Red Bull ring, so we'll have a wee bit of a... we'll just have a reset again and put them on the right track. See how tidy these guys can keep it this time. Sam Daly will be the man on going into this round, leader on the points for the time being. A 198 versus Andrew Bruce's 194. Corbin Winter also a 194, so pretty close there, 4 points between the first 3. Looking for overall round honours tonight from Donington in England. So we'll send them out for 5 minutes. So completely different opposite from the car that we just ran at Red Bull Ring, which is the rear-wheel drive Supra. We're going now to the front-wheel drive British touring cars. 5-minute qualifying session. Wait and see what time these guys can get down to. Fast 6. It looks like someone's having trouble getting away there. Finally, they are underway. So 4.5 minutes left in the session. You'll see the time, trying to get as much heat in those tyres as you can, especially the rears. It'll come round pretty quick on you when the rears are cold. And already 2 cars off out there in the dirt. Sam Daly being one of them. That's him there, number 19. Morgan Dorr complaining there might be some oil down on the track somewhere as 2 or 3 of them went off, but I think it's just the cold tyres. Sam Reeford there also having trouble as well. The light accent car. So we'll see how they go during qualifying tonight. Andrew Bruce has been pretty good at qualifying tonight. Corbin Winter's got a wee bit to make up. He's the first one out in front. He's in the Castro accent car. That's him there, car number 16. He's the one with the clear air at the moment. Yeah, he goes around the track. The tyres will still be pretty cold. Really, probably your second lap's going to be the one where you get the time. So purple in the first sector, as you'd expect, being the first car on the hot lap. So just a short lap here at Donington. Up a short wee rise here and just over the crest and straight away chop a gear down, turn in. And quite a wide right hand corner, which you can take most of that flat out once you get the nose around the corner. On board with Corbin Winter here. Let's see how he handles the last corner here. Hard on the brakes, take a lot of that inside curb, and then straight away you can get on it. Comes down, is going to be the first one to reel off a hot lap. 2 minutes 20 left to go, and a 1 minute 12.5 is the benchmark at the moment, set by Corbin Winter. Here goes Morgan Dorr. What can he do? He goes half a second slower. So about a 1:13. Leah Gabbardy's jumps up to second place, just 0.08 of a second behind Corbin Winter. Ellis Redhead, next one through, car number 10. Must have had a bit of a moment there, I think, Ellis Redhead on the outlap, which of course he did. We've seen him out on the grass. Here comes Sam Reeford, couple of green sectors, jumps up to fourth place with a 1:14.5, so a bit of time to make up there. Blair Gabbardy's gone fastest in the third sector. He's sitting third at the moment with a minute and a half left, so they may get 3 hot laps in if they're lucky enough. Corbin Winter. Andrew Bruce has gone to the top with a 1:12.28. 2 tenths over Corbin Winter. Blair Gabbardy's gone purple in the first sector. A bit of curb and going out in the grass there, Corbin Winter. That's going to ruin his lap there. Andrew Bruce goes fastest in the first sector, 28.4. Down across the line, Morgan Dorr. Blair Gabbardy's jumps to the top, a 1:12.05. So Andrew Bruce coming back onto the track, second place. He also had a very good second sector, but hooked it somewhere along the way. Blair Gabbardy's on a 1:12.05. Gonna Reeford do, jumps up to third, 3 tenths further back. Comes Scotty Kinder, set a fastest time. Here he goes, up to 6th. Purple in the sector, 28.14. Yellow first sector goes through. Bailey down there in 7th. Currently leading the points by 4 points for the evening. Time is up, so everybody on their last laps. Corbin Winter in 4th place, he's bailed out of it. Dawes bailed out of it, just getting out of the way. There goes Blair Gabbard, he's the pole sitter. Just cooked his lap coming through. But still sits top there with a 1:12.05, 2 tenths back to Andrew Bruce. Here goes Scotty Kinder still on a lap. 2.5 seconds off the time of Blair Gabbardy's. Goes this redhead across the line, jumps up to 6th with a 1:13.2. Reeford up to 3rd place. 4th, I'm not too sure who's still on a hot lap. It's Andrew Bruce. Down across the line. Couple of tenths to find as he goes through 11.6. Great lap from Andrew Bruce. Jumps to the top. And he'll start off the pole position with Gabbardy's beside him, Reeford. Then Corbin Winter, Scotty Kinder, Morgan Dorr, Dallas Redhead and Sam Daly for the fast 8 tonight. Here at Donington Park in England, Andrew Bruce with 11.6 in qualifying, waiting on the lights, got the 4, waiting for the clicks in the background. There we go, jam him into first gear and away we go. They do light the front tyres up, so click second as fast as you can as we head down towards turn 1. It's going to be Andrew Bruce. Blair Gabbardy's on the outside of him, and Ginger through here. The tyres will still be nice and cold. As already we see someone having a bit of a spin, 3 or 4 of them there. It's Corbin Winter, Sam Daly and Scotty Kinder caught up in it. Sam Reeford as well. Yeah, the dead right, Timmy Horn just saying in the background that the Tier 2 guys had a lot cleaner race, and already we've seen from the fast 8, 3 guys to the back, Corbin Winter, Scotty Kinder and Sam Reeford. No doubt there'll be, Sam Reeford's got problems there with the gear stick, and he's got that fixed pretty quick. Billy Rowley on the scene, but it's Andrew Bruce leads away from Blair Gabbardy's, Dallas Redhead in 3rd place, bit of a gap back to Morgan Dorr. And already the leaders coming down the second straight, you could call it, with a long back straight, and down to this hard braking zone, the right left onto the front straight. Very important to get this right. Perhaps it'll slow in and fast out is the way to go. There's Gabbardy's there in the 18 car, just under a second behind Andrew Bruce, chasing them down the front straight. In this era of British touring cars, when really they were probably the best they ever been. Back in the 80s and 90s. No Mondeos in there, no Paul Radisich in there at all, but nonetheless these are pretty cool cars, these British touring cars. Front wheel drive sequential 6-speed, downhill into this right-hander. Get the car sliding in quite nicely and get the uphill run going on up to 5th gear. Fade out up through here, chop it down a couple of gears once you get round this left-hander. And once again, slow in and fast out's the way to go. In the background there, Redhead just getting a couple of wheels out to the edge of the ripple strip. Andrew Bruce has just got it out by 1.5 seconds now over Blair Gabbardy's. 11-lap race for the fast 8 for the month of May. And that's Blair Gabbardy's there. Just lost a 0.5 second that last lap. There'll be no concrete around for him this time to take the wide line in. To come round to reel off another lap. And a gap just under 2 seconds as you'll see Andrew Bruce taking a bit of the pit lane exit there as they come round into the first turn. Tim Horner reckons that's the best way to go as well, and by rights he should. He won the last 2 races for the Tier 2. Looking pretty good for Timmy tonight. Rest of them come through. Corbin Winter there, Morgan Dorr on the screen. That's Morgan Dorr there in the Gojira car. Tidier this run, these guys. Sam Daly just in front of him in the yellow car. A run up the hill here. 4th gear, 5th gear, foot flat. Get up round this left-hander and then get it pointed in a straight line. Hard on the picks, you'll see the brake lights go on. Chop it down to 2nd. Try not to run too wide out in that dirt. Same coming up over this hill here. Just get over the top, chop it down a gear. Keep it in nice and tight. Keep the speed going around this corner for the run downhill. It's pretty important. And I actually quite like the end of the straight Timmy Horn. The brakes into the right-left combination. And get on the picks nice and neat. Oh, we're out in the dirt there. Who was that? It was that Morgan Dorr. No, it was Corbin Winter it was. In the Castrol car. Castrol colours. Still all over the back of Dorr though, even though he's out in the doing the weeds. But Andrew Bruce. 2.5 seconds. Lead. These cars here, I think they're from the 90s, weren't they? 2000? No, normally aspirated. Up the hill. Right on the brakes. Right on the bumper there, Corbin Winter. Good wee battle going on here. Sam Daly, Morgan Dorr and Corbin Winter. Sam Reeford 31 seconds further back, and then Scotty Kinder at the back of the pack. Just circulating for a few points. Fastest lap of the race, Andrew Bruce at 1:11.5. That's probably the fastest lap we've seen all night. So he's on fire out in front at the moment. Just about 3 seconds the gap. Back to Blair Gabbities, who's having a nice tidy job at the moment. Redhead still hanging on to that third place. Then this battle here for 4th, 5th and 6th. Oh, and has he gone wide? Sam Daly ran wide. And he comes back on the track, gives Corbin Winter a bit of a hit. But take there from Sam Daly, lost a couple of spots. And Morgan Dorr up to that 4th place. Winter up to 5th. All over the back of Winter though. Has a wee look up the inside as they come up the hill. But Winter's got the, should have the inside line coming into this right-hander at the top of the hill. Still holds the line there. Try and go with him, Sam Daly, but ends up out in the dirt. Right there though with him, trying to go the long way around the outside, but there's no way through there. You'll have to try the crossover. Come up the inside. Andrew Bruce once again, he's in the slot tonight. 1:11.2. The big fella on fire at Donington. Mind you, still got 5 laps to go. He's got that lead out to 5 seconds just in the last couple of laps. So he's doubled his lead. As this battle still continues. He's still holding second from Redhead. Morgan Dorr, Corbin Winter, Bailey. These three here having this mid-pack battle. Sam Daly sitting there in 6th place. He'll want to get as much points as he can. The 4 points in front at the moment from the first round at Red Bull Ring, Supra. Over Andrew Bruce and Corbin Winter, who are tied on 194 points. At the moment, looking pretty good for Andrew Bruce. If he can stay where he is, he should go into the last race in the lead. He goes Winter up the inside of Morgan Dorr, gets the job done. The top of the hill, come round the right hander, then down the long straight and into this heavy braking zone. Go on board with Morgan Dorr. It looked pretty sharp, tucked in behind Corbin Winter. Down into the right left. Here we go. 3rd gear, 4th gear. So he was down to 2nd gear coming through that tight section. 5th gear, takes the wide line in as well. Down to 3rd, chops it down 2 gears in 1. It's pretty tight compared to Winter's line. Just see in the mirrors there that Sam Daly is behind. He's keeping the pressure on. They wind through the infield, downhill left-hander. Bit of a hard on the brakes, down to 4th. Throw her in a wee bit. Try and take a bit of that understeer out. Keep the power on up the hill. 4th gear, pluck 5th gear, foot flat still. Up through this section here, still keeping it flat, then hard on the picks. So you'll see Winter getting all out of shape there as he was hard on the picks. He's got to run up the inside as he Morgan Dorr as they hit up over the top of the hill. And I think he might have got the job done, has he? Still side by side with Winter hanging out wide. Side by side down the back straight. And Winter's managed to get him back. Morgan Dorr does the crossover as they come down into the right-left combination. Oh, down the front straight. Reel off, led another one. 2 laps left to go for this battle. Andrew Bruce is running away out the front. Just under 9 seconds the gap to Blair Gabbardies, who's got 3 seconds over Dallas Redhead. Then it's these 3 guys still carrying this battle on. Corbin Winter sitting in 4th from Morgan Dorr. On board with Sam Daly. Getting a bird's eye view of this battle. Foot flat in 5th, down through here. Straighten it up, chop it down a gear. Try and throw it in early if you can so you don't run too wide, just like he has there. Pretty wide through that section of that corner. Flat out up the hill, 5th gear. Let's see if he keeps it there, trying to go around the outside, hard on the picks, down to 3rd. Keep it nice and tight in there. Up to 4th gear, up over the top of the hill. As soon as you get to the top of the crest, chop it down to 3rd, turn in. Take a bit of that curve and then try not to understeer out wide to the left-hand side there. And down the back straight. Wind her up, 5th gear, some might pick 6th, down to 3rd. Taking too much curb there is Sam Daly. Good bird's eye view. It looks like Morgan Dorr in front's about ready to mount a challenge on Corbin Winter. Here he goes to try and have a wee look down the outside and do the crossover. Here he goes. Corbin Winter comes across and holds that inside line quite nice, and there's no way through there. Even if you're Morgan Dorr, there's no way through. As we've seen before, there was a bit of a talk about the driving standards, and it was good to see Morgan Dorr just staying out of the back there of Corbin Winter. Well, it could be quite tempting to give him a wee nudge, but these things being front-wheel drive. Bit of a rear slide from Sam Daly under brakes. Loses a few car lengths on the run up the hill. Drew Bruce still out by 8.5 seconds. Still 3 seconds back to Dallas Redhead. So those 3, the front have settled in quite nicely, doing consistent times. 9 seconds back is this battle here. Corbin Winter. Pestrol Accent. Comes down to reel off another one. About my last lap board for them this time as they come through. 1 left to go after this. Down through turn 1. Dorr still keeping the pressure on. Fella can soak it up quite nicely though. Starting to drop Sam Daly off in the background. He's only probably 1.5 seconds, but nowhere near close enough to force any sort of move on Morgan Dorr to head up the hill. Daly just a couple of wheels out in the grass. Just to take your button off for a second. Up through the right-hander at the top of the hill. Up over the wee crest. Morgan Dorr just has a wee look, but no way through. Round the right-hander and then start heading back down the hill again. Great wee track there. Oh, another F-bomb there from Dallas Redhead. He's gone off. Gabbardies has managed to sneak through. Or is that Redhead mounting a challenge on Gabbardies perhaps? Might have been a coming together there or an outbreak. Maybe a penalty. Oh, you got a penalty. You had to slow down. You got a couple of those in race 2. Yeah, and here goes Sam Daly around the outside of Morgan Dorr, and Corbin Winter goes wide out in the dirt. Goes down a couple of spots as these two go flying through up the inside. These two battling away. It's Morgan Dorr and Sam Daly. Sam Daly right on the bumper now as they head round through this very fast right-hander in the run up the hill. Both of them getting out in the dirt. All 3 of them, in fact, is trying to get the job done. Trying to go around the outside of Sam Daly into the braking zone. He's got the inside line. Dorr comes across on him, but in the end he gets the job done. Sam Daly up to 4th on the run up the hill and into the right-hander. Andrew Bruce Goes through, takes the race win. Gonna do it easy enough. Could be Blair Gabbities that comes through for second. It'll still continuing. There's Gabbities now coming through for second. And is that Dallas Redhead coming through to take third place? Here's the battle going on further back through the pack. Come down across the line. Who's going to get it? It's going to be a close finish. Sam Daly gets it in the end, but not by much from Morgan Dorr. And then Corbin Winter. So really not much in that whatsoever. Scotty Kinder and Sam Reeford got caught up in that early melee. Great stuff there from the fast eights. And Sam Reeford just coming through. Scotty Kinder will finish at the back of the pack. So pretty good race there. Good race for Andrew Bruce anyhow. Takes the race win in the cool accent. Hyundai. So we'll start them all over again, reverse them up. Scotty Kinder, Sam Reeford off the front row. Corbin Winter, Morgan Dorr on the second row. Sam Daly, Redhead. And off the back, Gabbities and Andrew Bruce. Another 11-lap race. Reverse them up, the last race of the night here at HOSS for the fast eights. We're waiting on the lights. 4 lights. And away we go. You see the wheel spin off the front of the car there as they try to get the power away. And you've got to keep the revs up on these things. If you click second too early, you can bog the thing down. But it's going to be Corbin Winter who's going to lead them through turn 1 first up. Morgan Dorr will be second. And everyone gets through the first corner nicely. Probably the first race tonight we've seen everyone through the first corner without anything happening. As they run down the hill with cold tyres. And it's Corbin Winter from Morgan Dorr. Sam Daly. Looking good for him at the moment, sitting there in third place. Long way to go with Scotty Kinder in fourth place. Dallas Redhead in fifth. Gabbities, Andrew Bruce and Sam Reeford. Down the back, all bit of a touch together there. Who was that? Sam Daly and Morgan Dorr. Bit of a side slap with the two of them. But anyhow, they're both still on track. Still second and third place. Up over the top of the hill, someone going out wide in the dirt. It was Scotty Kinder, was it? Drops down a couple of spots. Gabbities and Bruce managed to sneak through. Go up another spot as they head down the back straight, down the hill to the heavy braking zone into the right-left combination. Plenty of curve being taken by lots of these drivers. Who was that? The 18 car shot through straight away. I think that was Andrew Bruce. Great passing move. Goes up another one, but it's Winter leads them through from Daly. Morgan Dorr, Dallas Redhead. Blair Gabbities, a lot of work to do for Andrew Bruce down there in 6th place. Really needs to score good points in this one. Especially if Sam Daly finishes up in the top 3. Starting to look a wee bit racy now that the tyres are warmed up. A nice wee slide going on there. I think that was Gabbities and Redhead. Getting a bit tail happy in the rear. Of course, being front wheel drive, you can keep the foot up it. If the rear wants to come round, just keep the foot up it. And it's when you take the foot off the mechanical grip at the front that the rear wants to come around. Up over the top of the hill. Through the right, be short right-hander, then a big long right-hander. Down the back straight. Downhill right left-hander. Corbin Winter's got Sam Daly just 3/10, only a car length between the two of them out in front. Morgan Dorr chasing. Oh, who's that in the background? That's Andrew Bruce. He's cooked it. So I was just saying that he had to have good points in this race if he wants to take out the race win, the round win. He's just trying to get it turned around the right way. He's going to go 30 odd seconds down, which is going to ruin the race for him. So really it's up to Sam Daly for the overall points for tonight. If you can keep it there in second place or even third or fourth, be looking pretty good. The other drivers are Corbin Winter. He's also there in the points battle, trying to have a look around the outside. Sam Daly on the run up the hill into the braking zone. He's got the inside line. Winter tries to come around the outside. Still going to be a bit of a touch between the two of them as they come out of there. Someone off in the background there as well. All going, bit of a touch there. And he's been biffed up again. Sam Daly could be in for a penalty for that one. There was no sign of any braking coming from Sam Daly's car at all. And just helped Corbin Winter around, knowing that that's probably the guy who's fighting for in the points. So that will have to be looked at after the race as well. Corbin Winter's gone from the first down to sixth after that incident. And Sam Daly still finds himself sitting in second place. So Billy Rowley's going to be having his notebook full tonight, that's for sure. So there was no sign of any brake lights from Sam Daly. He's just kept it up until the young fella went around. But it's early on in the race, so Redhead looking pretty racy there, sliding it through the corner. He's got Blair Gabbardy's trying to make a move on him up the inside as they come up over the top of the hill. Redhead on the inside line though. Gabbardy's trying to hold it there from fourth place as they come up over the top of the hill. Not much between these top four cars, in fact only a couple of seconds. Around the right hander, back down the straight is Redhead. Gabbardy's in behind him. Couple of hand grenades there together. Send them over to Israel and see how they go. Probably go pretty good over there, I'd imagine. These two, as we see Redhead put the old, I think he got a hit from Gabbardy's. Now we've got Sam Reeford trying to have a bit of a sniff down the inside as well. Reeford goes up to fourth place as these two have been battling it out between themselves. Down to the braking zone in the right hander. It's Morgan Dorr now out in front from Sam Daly. And Blair Gabbardy's in third. Redhead fourth. Reeford trying to see where Corbin Winter is. He's a wee way back. Another 6 seconds further back. These three guys fighting it out amongst themselves in the mid-pack. Blair Gabbardy's Redhead. And Redhead has just got his nose in front again, but he won't have the inside line to the right-hander heading up the hill. Or has he got the job done? No, he goes wide. Allows Gabbardy's back up the inside. Great stuff from these guys. Reeford just sitting in behind there in fifth place. Up over the top of the hill, through the right-hander, heading back down the hill. Still Redhead sitting there in fourth place. From Reeford, Gabbardy's in the in third place, Redhead in fourth. Then Sam Reeford sitting there in fifth. And across the stripe again to reel off lap number 7. Down to the braking zone, you'll see Gabbardy's taking the wide line again. Redhead follows him, so does Reeford, trying to get a wee bit more line cut out of that first turn. Then she's flat out down the hill, third, fourth, up to fifth gear. Down through this section here. Straighten it up, dab on the brakes, down to fourth. Nice and tidy through there for Blair Gabbardy's. Redhead still keeping the pressure on. Starting to drop Reeford a little bit. Corbin Winter down to 6 has just picked a second up on this battle. Bit of understeer out wide there for Redhead. Brings it back onto the track though. The right-hander. Morgan Dorr, if we go to the lead there, Billy. It's like we're far off a wee battle out in front. Morgan Dorr and Sam Daly. Here we go. It's their race leader there. Car number 2. Just 7 tenths back to Sam Daly, who's under a suspicion of maybe a penalty. Does the fastest lap on 1:11.4. Sam Daly trying to hunt down Morgan Dorr. Blair Gabbardy's still sitting in third place from Redhead. Sam Reeford. The battle out in front though. Drew Bruce way down the bottom there. Dead out the dirt. Sam Daly from second place. Back up the hill again, the race leaders go. 3.5 seconds back to Blair Gabbardy, so slowly getting reeled in from these guys having the battle further back. There they go in the background there. So not much between these top 5 cars, in fact only about 4 or 5 seconds. Even though you're out in front, you don't really want to make a mistake there, Morgan Dorr, looking for a good result for the night. cap it off with quite a nice one. Brakes. The right-left combination on. Down to reel off one more. 3 to go for Morgan Dorr. 1.3 seconds back to Sam Daly. Gavities, Redhead and Refit. Kind of steering those three. Corbin Winter, it's one of those nights that what could have been. Perhaps we need to introduce a permanent driving standards observer. Quite lenient on penalties. Videos don't lie. Basically, round the right-hander to come up over the top of the hill. Here's Dallas Redhead still trying to hunt down Blair Gabbard, who's in there in third place. Sam Reeford, of course, Blair Gabbard and Sam Reeford. I think these two guys work together, so I think Sam won't be wanting to upset the boss up there in third place. Come down the straight again. Quite easy to lock the brakes up here and overshoot the corner. So be a wee bit cautious on the way in and put flat halfway through the corner. Take a fair bit of curbs. They come through with 2 laps left to go. Bill Morgan Dorr out in front. There's Gabbard once again taking plenty of the pit lane exit. Get better drive out through turn 1. Gap from first to second, still around that 1.5 second mark. Morgan Dorr back to Sam Daly. Back to this battle here, getting closer is Redhead. He's only got a lap and a bit left to go. Get car length between the two of them on the run up the hill. Out on the brakes. Oh, he's at Sam Reeford. Just getting a wheel out in the grass, but he's managed to gather it up. Not too bad considering he was completely sideways there. Just about fall into the clutches of Corbin. Oh, there we go, getting out of shape. That was Blair Gabbard's. Red, the door open there for Redhead. The old eyes would have opened up quite wide then. Had a wee look, but the end, keep the foot up, it will straighten the car up quite nicely, the front wheel drive. Come down to reel off one more. So it'll be last lap for these guys this time. Maybe one more to go, it's a bit hard to tell. Give them one more and see if Redhead can get the job done on Gabbard's. Down the hill. Right left combination. Out on the brakes, chopping down a gear. Slide the thing round there, not too bad if you take a bit of the inside curb. At the moment, everybody's withstanding the pressure quite nicely from Redhead up to the heavy braking zone. And the third. Oh, just about out in the wheel out in the dirt there from Gabbard's. This Redhead with the old eyes would have half open there for a minute. Down hill we go again. They come down and get the last lap board. It's time for these guys. Just pulling out, just letting Gabbard's know that he's there, his Redhead. Important to get a good run down here if you want to have a shot at the end of the front straight. Still only a car length between the two of them. Last lap board is out. Gabbard's still taking heaps of that pit lane exit. Redhead tries to go with him, but loses a wee bit of side on the corner and loses a couple of spots there. Or a couple of car lengths, I should say. To head down the hill. Looking pretty good for race leader Morgan Dorr at the moment. He's only got just under a second back to Sam Daly. If we go back to race leader, Billy, just keep an eye on that. Here we go here. Morgan Dorr. Sam Daly. The first two. Be Morgan Dorr's first win for a while, I'd imagine. If he can keep it there for the next two corners. Down to the last section there for Morgan Dorr. Pretty good. for him at the moment, keeps it on the track, so he looks good to come down and take the race win. Sam Daly nowhere close enough, and great stuff from Morgan Dorr. Started 5th, takes the race win. Sam Daly, unofficial 2nd. We'll have to see what the judge says about that coming together with Corbin Winter. Blair Gabbardies comes through, Dallas Redhead, Sam Reeford, and Corbin Winter comes through 6th. Andrew Bruce 20 seconds further down the pack, and then Scotty Kinder in fact Andrew Bruce comes through. So great stuff there from the racing tonight. We'll just keep an eye on some of the replays here and see if there's one obvious penalty that should be given. So we'll see what happens, what the judge says. It's pretty close at the top for the overall honours for tonight. Just keeping an eye on this one here. That's Corbin Winter up in front, and this is Sam Daly. Gives him a wee nudge here. Just keep an eye on the brake lights of Sam Daly's car. No brake light, a wee bit there perhaps, but by that stage it was too late. It had already given him 2 hits, and enough to ruin Winter's race that was. So we'll see what the outcome of that is. Congratulations, Morgan Dorr. Good, nice, tidy race, and good battle from Redhead, Gabbardies, and Reeford too, to round out some good racing for the night tonight, for the month of May, for the Tier 1 and Tier 2s. And don't forget, next week it's the start of the Winter Series 10 rounds, and that will start next week. So make sure you tune in next week for that. We'll have all the live stream action here down at HOSS, and you can catch all the replays on YouTube. Just look up HOSS on YouTube. Make sure you get down and get your laps in for this month's leaderboards too. Action from all the guys. Yeah. She's going to be close in the points tonight. I'm just waiting for Billy Rowley to add up the totals. It's been a bit of an argy-bargy night in both Tier 1 and Tier 2. Also seen some good racing as well. So Andrew Bruce gets there in the end by 4 points over Sam Daly. Blair Gabbardies 3rd for the round. The Dallas Redhead 4th. Morgan Dorr 5th. Corbin Winter finishes 6th. Scotty Kinder, Sam Reeford, Michael Payman, Timmy Horn, myself, and then Ben Kernahan rounds out the 12 drivers tonight. Congratulations, Andrew Bruce. Takes out the month of May Fast 8. Standings from the year to date, Morgan Dorr, he's got the big money at the moment, 1,868 points, but not much between himself and Blair Gabbardies. 1,056, just the 12 points. Corbin Winter up there in 3rd place, Billy Rowley, Bruce, so tight up at the top. So congratulations there, Andrew Bruce. We will see you guys next week down here at HOSS. Make sure you tune in from about 6:30 next week. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. So